The Fisherman's Parable. One day, a fisherman was sitting by his boat while playing with his child on a beautiful beach, his fishing pole resting against the boat. A wealthy businessman came walking down the beach, trying to relieve some of the stress of his workday. Curious and horrified at the sight of the fisherman wasting the day, the businessman asked, "Why aren't you out fishing?" The fisherman looked up at the businessman, smiled, and replied, "Because I already caught enough fish for one day." The businessman followed, "Why don't you catch some more?" "Then what would I do with them?" replied the fisherman. "You could earn extra money," said the businessman. With the extra money, you could buy a bigger boat, go into deeper waters, and catch more fish. Then you would make enough money to buy nylon nets. With the nets, you could catch even more fish and make more money. With that money, you could own 2 boats, maybe 3 boats. Eventually, you could have a whole fleet of boats and be rich like me." "Then what would I do?" asked the fisherman. "Then," said the businessman, "you could really enjoy life." The fisherman looked at the businessman and said, "What do you think I'm doing now?"
This little instrument is not very well known. It's a concertina, and it was developed about 200 years ago in England. It's very popular too in Ireland. Well, I met an Irish gentleman, and he taught me a few tunes, and he also told me that his friend's mother would hum these tunes while she was doing her work. So I'm doing this for that Irish mother. That's one. Two. Four, and finish work in the kitchen.
Good morning, and welcome to the weekly service of the Buckman Bridge Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Claudia Marshall, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. Welcome to this Unitarian Universalist service. Unitarian Universalists have different beliefs, but shared values. We are Unitarian Universalists, and at the same time, we may also be agnostic, Buddhist, Christian, Hindu, humanist, Jewish, Muslim, pagan, atheist, believers in God, and those who just let the great mystery be. The diversity of beliefs you'll find in the Unitarian Universalist community is one of our strengths. We're always learning how to see the world from a different perspective. To those who are here today, who are guests or newcomers, we're so glad that you are here and hope that you'll stay with us for the fellowship after the service. You'll find coffee, other beverages, snacks at the pass-through windows in the back of the sanctuary. Be sure to wear your name tag so that we can welcome you warmly and greet you by name. It's a great time for meeting friends and sharing conversations. Please also stop by our welcome table at the entryway if you haven't done so already. There you can find information on our church and our denomination. We have regularly scheduled Learn About UU and Learn About BBUUC classes year-round. And if you have any questions or needs, please don't hesitate to ask any of our members. They will assist you or direct you to those who are best suited to answer your question. If you are interested in becoming a member, you can check in with the folks at the welcome table who are happy to talk to you about the path to membership. Get to know us here, and we hope that you will find that our beloved community is a home for you. Now, please silence your phones for the remainder of the service, and please arise in body and/or spirit as we sing our call to worship. Please open your order of service and let us recite together our congregational covenant. We covenant to engage one another with honesty, kindness, and respect, to value diversity, seek understanding of our differences, and practice gracious accountability with care, love, and empathy. We make these promises to those who are here and those yet to come, so that we may be a safe, welcoming, and beloved community of acceptance, learning, and transformation. I ask that Mike Ludwig will come and light our chalice, a symbol of our hope. For this 1 hour, by Paul Dodenhoff. For this 1 hour, Spirit of Life, we let go. For this 1 hour, may we let go of our anxieties, our fears, our angers, our self-doubts, our regrets, our petty grievances, and our distractions. If only for this 1 hour, let the flame of this chalice burn then from our hearts and minds and light our way to peace and serenity for this one holy hour. Thank you. The offering we take each Sunday isn't just a stale habit. It's an opportunity to recommit to this place and to this people. Our offering is an affirmation, a yes. When we give, we say yes to something we value. With our gifts freely given, may we say yes to the values of our faith. May our offering help us practice Unitarian Universalism within and beyond our congregation as tools to empower our mission. I now invite Pete and Judy Olevnik to come forward to the offering to get the plates, and contribute to the offering which sustains our church. Whether you give today by placing money in the plate or by donating on our webpage, please touch the plate and pass it to your neighbor. Thank you, guys.
Kathleen Hannon wrote these words and the little melodies to go with them. To me, they're a favorite piece of poetry. And this is my auto harp. I sat under a big oak tree, asking nature to comfort me. She wrapped me up in ancient green, ancient green. All my fears, all my tears, all my cares, river's gonna wash them away. All my cares, all my tears, all my fears, river's gonna wash them away. But it's a long, long way across the waters deep and wide, a long, long ride until we get there. Oh, but how time flies, and before we even know it, we're on the other side, looking back. And it was such a short ride. Yes, how time flies, and before we even know it, we're on the other side, looking back. And it was such a short ride.
Reverend Boggins begins her sermon, the one that David is going to be presenting today, with this poem, Blues, by Elizabeth Alexander. I am lazy, the laziest girl in the world. I sleep during the day when I want to, till my face is creased and swollen, till my lips are dry and hot. I eat as I please, cookies and milk after lunch, butter and sour cream on my baked potato. Foods that slothful people eat, that turn yellow and opaque beneath the skin. Sometimes, come dinner time, Sunday, I'm still in my nightgown, the one with lace trim hanging because I haven't mended it yet. Many days I do not exercise, only consider it, and then rub my curdy belly and lie down. Even my poems are lazy. I use syllabics instead of iams, prefer slant to the gong of full rhyme, write briefly while others go on for pages. And yesterday, for example, I did not work at all. I got in my car and drove to the factory outlet stores, purchased stockings and panties and socks with my father's money. To think, in my childhood, I missed only 1 day of school per year. I went to ballet classes 4 days a week at 4:45 and on Saturdays, beginning always with a plie and ending with a curtsy. To think I only knew industry, the industry of my race, of immigrants. The radio tuned always to the station that said, "Line up your summer jobs in advance. Work hard and do not shame your family, who worked hard to get you where you are. There is no sin but sloth. Burn a wick and keep moving." I avoided sleep for years, replaying evening news stories about nearby jailbreaks, fat people who ate fried chicken and woke up dead. In sleep, I am looking for poems in the shape of open V's, of birds flying in formation, or open arms saying, "I forgive you all."
Reverend Emilie boggis begins her sermon, and I literally quote, "Y'all, I am addicted to a murder mystery series. Not only am I ready to move to Three Pines, Canada for the croissants and the café au lait, but I also think I'm in love with Chief Inspector Armand Gamache. There's only one problem. People keep getting murdered in Three Pines. Growing up watching an Agatha Christie television series, I learned that if Miss Marple visits your village, somebody's gonna die. You're either gonna end up murdered or you're gonna be a murderer. I can't figure out why the Three Pines villagers allow Armand Gamache to even move there. It's just one murder after another, but it does keep me reading the books. Apologies, I digress. And I, David, digress. I was embarrassingly not familiar with this series or this author. Her name is Louise Penny. She has written to date 18 Inspector Gamache mysteries, and she is also the co-author of a thriller, State of Terror, and that co-author is none other than Hillary Rodham Clinton. So forgive me for my ignorance, and thank you, Reverend Boggis. I know you're watching this. You hooked me on this series, you bad influence. Look, I read this book, okay? And it is good. A cozy mystery with curse words. Now, I could carry this a step further and wonder why Jessica Fletcher in Cabot Cove, Maine has so many nieces and nephews that keep getting accused of murder. But anyway. In Louise Penny's fourth Inspector Gamache novel, A Rule Against Murder, Armand and his wife, Renee Marie, are on holiday, vacation, celebrating their wedding anniversary at a luxury lakeside hotel nestled deep in the Canadian forest when, surprise, surprise, a murder happens. At least this time it's not in Three Pines. Every evening, the chief inspector sees a man sitting on a chair at the lake's dock. The man appears to be over 90 years old. When Gamache asks him what he is doing, the old man replies that he is counting his sums. It is, in fact, his evening ritual. This daily ritual enrages his stepchildren. They're all grown up, they've got kids of their own, they're there at the lodge for a family reunion. And they are enraged because they believe that this stepfather has married their money, has married, same point here, has married their mother only to steal their late father's amassed wealth from them. And when he is counting his sums, he is counting all of their money. Now, interestingly, the old man is not the one who's murdered. More to come on that. When we count our sums, what does it mean to count ourselves as wealthy? When you imagine winning the lottery, what is the number you hope to win? How much is your enough number? The amount of money in which you will stop worrying and simply enjoy life. Financial advisors would make a distinction between being wealthy and being rich. It seems you can be wealthy without ever being rich. It's the simple lesson of the fisherman's parable that Claudia read to us earlier this morning. The banker, he's rich. The fisherman, he's wealthy. Wealth is a state of being, not the number in your bank account. Henry David Thoreau, oh, him again. Thoreau once said, wealth is the ability to fully experience life. It invites us to reconsider our enough number. Is our lottery number making us rich, or is it making us wealthy? My teenage daughter once warned her grandmother, who had just bought a lottery ticket. "Oh," she exclaimed, "I hope you don't win. Winning the lottery is a curse. It's not a blessing." Now, recently, I was listening to a podcast called So Money with Farnoosh Torabi. Her guest was Manisha Thakur, and she asked the audience to consider whether our net worth is tied to our self-worth. Let's examine this a little. In the book, Poverty by America, Matthew Desmond shares that Americans are rich, colossally rich, in fact. In 2020, you remember that one, the year of the global pandemic, Professor Desmond reports that Americans spent $550 million on travel, $10 million on pets, and bought 310,000 new powerboats. Our homes are enormous. You can fit 3 newly built English homes in just one of our American homes. And more than 1 in 8 Americans, for them, those enormous homes aren't even their only homes. Our cars, even the electric ones, are bigger than anyone else's in the world. We are, in fact, much richer than citizens of other countries, even other rich countries. We are colossally rich, but we are not wealthy. In my pastoral ministry, writes Reverend Boggis, I'm hearing more and more people counting their sums and feeling despair. It's never enough. Is our net worth tied to our net worth? Too often the answer to that question is yes, and I, David, can personally attest to that. Matthew Desmond asks, has there ever been another time in the full sweep of human history when so many people had so much and yet felt so deprived and anxious? How is this so? In our larger culture, we are bombarded by at least 2 messages. First, we should be living the good life. That's what the banker wants for the fisherman, the good life. We're bombarded by images of people living their best lives, from our friends on social media to the ads and the commercials coming at us from every direction. Our friends, they're posting photos of their families. They're all in matching outfits. They're standing on the beach. They're smiling. No toddler is ever in meltdown. No siblings are ever fighting over who's doing the best job taking care of mom. No outlaw is taking a nip from the hotel mini bottles. Perfect families, perfect vacations, living the good life. Commercials show us the life we could be living if we just went on that European cruise, or if we just bought the latest car, or if we just dressed in the right clothes. Home improvement shows, they present us with all the ways that our current homes are lacking. They need a makeover, maybe a new home altogether. Pharmaceutical commercials play image after image of the life you could be leading if you just took our magic pill. And it's funny that they don't show those same actors acting out the side effects of the drugs. Yes, we should all be living the good life. If you aren't, you must be doing it wrong. That's message 1. Message 2, we should be exceptional. Each one of us. All of us are going to be president. All of us are going to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, or the Secretary General of the United Nations, or a rocket scientist. All of us by the time we're 35. And if you haven't achieved one of these exceptional statuses, you must be doing it wrong. Manisha Thakur has noticed 3 hallmarks to the culture's relationship to wealth. First, our response to our inner discomfort is more. Do more, earn more, accumulate more, only then will you be more. And that drive for more causes us to feel like human doings, human earnings, rather than human beings. And finally, no matter how colossally rich we are, it's just not enough to feel whole inside. Elizabeth Alexander, who wrote Blues, which Donna read for us a few moments ago, describes our lives. To think in childhood I missed only 1 day of school per year. I went to ballet class 4 days a week at 4:45, and on Saturdays, beginning also with plie, ending in curtsy. To think I knew only industry. the industry of my race and of immigrants. The radio always tuned to the station that said, line up your summer job months in advance. Work hard. Do not shame your family who worked hard to give you what you have. There is no sin but sloth. Burn to a wick and keep moving. The Fisherman, however, invites us to disconnect our self-worth from our net worth. He invites us to cultivate our wealth instead of our riches. Manisha Thakur finally accepted his invitation the hard way. From the moment that she graduated college, Manisha hustled to do more, earn more, be more, and at midlife, her body was done. She found herself in the middle of a health crisis. Her body wouldn't let her get out of bed. It had had enough. Finally, suddenly, there was no more doing, and with that, no more earning. That's when she learned just how much her self-worth relied on her net worth. She was worth less without her riches and her exceptional title. As she allowed her body to heal, Manisha woke up to her lack of. It caused her to face what she had missed. Her biggest regret, not attending her grandmother's funeral. At the time of her grandmother's death, Manisha believed her net worth was more important than showing up at the funeral. I've got too many important clients to attend to, she thought. My grandmother knows that I love her. Manisha couldn't see that human beings show up for one another, to celebrate a life, to mourn their absence, to cultivate their legacy, and to remember what it means to really live. So Manisha stopped striving after her enough number. Instead, she asked this question. If I had 10 years left to live and $10 million, what shifts would I make? It was a question that led her to understand the meaning of wealth. Elizabeth Alexander answered the question by embracing a new title, laziest girl in the world, writing syllabics instead of iambs, prefers slant to the gong of full rhyme, write briefly while others go for pages. The Fisherman might ask a different question altogether. If my family and I have enough food in our bellies, how would we enjoy this day together? No matter who Manisha Thakur asks, the responses are similar. We would quit our frenetic doing. We would invest in our relationships and our communities. We would care about something larger than ourselves. What shifts would you make to cultivate wealth rather than riches? Let's return to the old man counting his sums on a Canadian lakeside dock. At the end of the investigation, Chief Inspector Gamache has discovered who the murderer is. Luckily, spoiler alert, it's not the old man. Gamache sits down next to the old man and he makes his final discovery. The old man's sums are not a practice of counting his net worth. The old man had worked professionally as an accountant. After a lifetime of counting other people's net worth, he tells Gamache, do you know what I've discovered? The only thing money buys you is space. More space. Bigger houses, bigger cars, bigger seats on the plane, your own plane, on and on and on. And he has learned that more space does not make human beings any happier. No one complains more than the rich and entitled, he says. Comfort, security, ease, none of that comes with money. And then the old man tells Gamache his first lesson on wealth. Way before he was an accountant, The old man spent time in a Japanese prisoner of war camp. It was terrible. He watched as his fellow prisoners died of starvation, dysentery, cruelty, but the biggest killer, despair. The old man learned how to liberate himself from despair. No matter how awful his days were, what he counted were his blessings. We're all blessed and we're all blighted, the old man tells Chief Inspector Gamache. Each day, each of us counts our sums. The question is, what do we count? What do we count? Beloveds, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. As we exhale, let's release our need for riches. As we inhale, let's do our sums. What blessing do you count this day? Who in your life is a blessing? Hold that blessing in your heart. Open your eyes. How wealthy are we? As the sun sets on another day of our lives, may we come to know that we are both blessed and blessings beyond measure. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be. Reverend Emilie Boggis.
Our closing hymn is 131, Love Will Guide Us, in the Great Hymnal. Please stand. We'll sing all three verses. 131. I know, I'm sorry. Nancy Wood says, hold on to what is good, even if it is a handful of earth. Hold on to what you believe, even if it is a tree which stands by itself. Hold on to what you must do, even if it is a long way from here. Hold on to my hand when I have gone away from you. Be blessed. Thank you.